What's up? Don't let your environment dictate your life as a black man. Now, I believe that your environment has sometimes even more to do with who you become, even more than, the people that were raising you. And when I look at my life as a black man growing up, a lot of the bad habits that I developed and the bad things that were a detriment to me being the person I wanted to be always came from the people I was around whenever my parents was gone, whenever I wasn't at home. It was always around, other kids and stuff. And I'm not here to say that I was just a saint and everybody else was bad, but I do want to point out that your environment does have a lot to do and it does heavily influence what you get into as you get older. And the one thing that I want to really emphasize is that you still have control. When you become an adult, that's when you really get to design how you want your life to be. And you can break all those molds of maybe how people treated you, um, relationship dynamics that weren't good or dysfunctional relationships, just your habits with yourself, what you want to do as a career. You get to choose. Ow, I bit my tongue. You get to choose all of that. And I think that that's something to really be grateful for, that you do have that power and a lot of people don't recognize it. We have to get out of the victim mindset of just thinking, oh, I was just born into this system, or I was just born into the wrong environment and I can't do nothing and I just need help. As a man, throw away that mentality, especially as a black man. And I think there are stereotypes where if you see a black man, it's always a stereotype of he don't care, he's lazy, he don't care about anything, he don't want to be anything. I'm one of these men that I think about stuff and I want to create and design how I want my life to be. And oftentimes I get ridiculed or picked on because what I say might seem far fetched, and what a lot of men who want to be somebody, what they say might seem far fetched because they're not operating um in a way where they're going outside of the box, right? I think that how I want my life to be, or how a lot of men want their lives to be because they want to be somebody, they operate outside the box. This doesn't mean you don't work hard or you don't do anything that anybody else is doing. This just means that you want to get to a level that most people don't get to. And I understand in my life that that does take hard work, right? But it's also the creativity and your ability to say, you know what, I want my life to look like this. I want my life to look like that. Never be one of these men who just think getting up and going to work is all there is to life. And that's what a man's supposed to do, and it don't matter how he feel. No, what a man wants is what matters. What he truly wants is what matters. And he should fix his life towards that and make that a goal. Don't be this person that's like, oh, I just gotta do whatever I gotta do. And I understand if you have a family, if you got kids, if you have a family you gotta take care of, I understand that more. But that still shouldn't negate or neglect who you want to be and what you want to do. This is why you don't just jump and go ahead and have a lot of kids and be in something very early when you don't know yourself and you don't have experience as far as your own personal life. And one thing I'm just starting to understand, man, is there is a beauty in a man who wants to create his own life and design his life in a certain way. To me, I'm I like when I see men who actually think about stuff, and that inspires me to be more of a person that doesn't just go with the flow and coast. That's the problem we have. We have black men who don't think they just coast, and a lot of us are lazy when it comes to creating. We're not lazy when it just comes to getting up and just doing some type of labor, or doing just the most basic things to get by in life. A lot of us lack creativity in how we want to live our lives. And I think that sometimes it gets hard when there's already a mold that gets put on you as a child. Because I can definitely say, man, don't let nobody tell you that your childhood doesn't matter and those experiences don't matter. All of that stuff matter. And I recognize that and I accept that. And I don't choose to let it hold me back. Not saying that I really had a bad childhood. I would say I had a good childhood, but there were certain things that I think that I should have had and I didn't have. And, it just wasn't perfect. So the parts that weren't perfect, that weren't that good, I accept that and I choose to improve that in my daily life as a grown man, as an adult now. And I think with black men, we oftentimes can get inside of a victim mentality. And this is what leads us to just be a man that just, he's, the stereotypical black man. When we think we have nothing to live for, when we think we can't go past the mold of certain things, we automatically think that, um, okay, I'm gonna just be whatever they said I was. I'm gonna just be a thug. I'm gonna just be a pimp, or X, Y, and Z. And that's something we really have to get away from. And that's something that I want to push for. And I not only want to make a career out of helping black men, which means I don't only want to, just make money. I want to help people in a way where it's going to unlock certain things mentally. I'm not one of these people that just thinks, oh, just give somebody money, or just make it look like you're helping somebody. But the real thing that really needs to be worked on is our mentality and our confidence. And that's the true key for us to get ahead as people. And there's other aspects and other videos that I'm going to make talking around this type of stuff. But I really just want to push the idea that you're not just bound to your environment. And I'm saying it matters because it does affect you, but I'm also saying you're strong enough to overcome it. You're strong enough to get out of that and design your own life. You're not what if you have good parents, then that's a blessing. But it's a lot of people who have people around them that they grew up with that say they can't do it, that say, that's not possible, that's not realistic. you know you have to create those circumstances. You have to create whatever you want. You have to create it. You have to find a way. And I think that that is the goal we need. That is the direction we need to go in. So I got to say peace out.